Next topic is GMO, genetically modified organisms. The reason we are bringing up here is because there are two articles in Science Reporter which deals with GMOs. However, they are not highly in the news items. So what we have to understand is what genetic modification means. How is it different from artificial selection? And we should have a few examples such as GM cotton, GM brinjal, etc. Now, genetically modified means you have to take a gene from some organism and introduce it into another organism to modify that organism. That is when something is genetically modified. Artificial selection is when you have a crop of 5 or 10 or 500 and you select two that are best, and next generation you only sow those or only replicate those. So this time more of your population will be the type that you want. So again you remove the ones you don't like and only propagate the ones you like. So after many generations you will reach a point in which the original stock and the new stock is completely different. So here we are artificially selecting for only the things we want. That is artificial selection. So all of agricultural products that we use today is based on artificial selection. None of them are naturally available in nature. So if you look at corn, original natural ancestor versus what is available today, it is highly different. However, genetically modified means we have used the power of our genetic engineering to introduce a gene or certain genes into the genome of a particular organization to modify the behavior. So that is where the controversy comes, because we don't know the long-term implication of what this will mean. Because of which people are not trusting GM crops. So there are main issues are about labeling, how GM crops should be separately labeled so that people can be aware when they buy, banning. There are some countries which want to actually ban GM crops because the long-term implication on our health as well as on the biodiversity is not yet fully known. So such issues are there. So we will be providing you the PDFs as well as the gist of these articles in the notes. So please have a look at them to have a good understanding about GMO. And whenever a news comes about GMO, please understand questions will tend to be science and tech oriented in GMO and not so much policy oriented, because these are controversial in nature. Now the next topic we're picking up is from PIB. So again, repeating, from PIB we are picking up only those topics which are not overlapping with Hindu and Indian Express. So one topic is International Maritime Council. So it was formed in 1959. It is the organization that decides all factors related to global shipping. So the global shipping industry related aspects are covered under International Monetary Council. So India became a member in 1959. It has 40 member countries. Now why is International Monetary Council in the news? Because in 2015 India was re-elected as a member of International Monetary Council. So that is one reason why it was in the news, and PIB had covered that. Another issue which PIB had picked up and covered is jute price hike. There was inflation happening in jute industry in India. This was happening because of a lot of hoarding, and there was an export ban by Bangladesh. So both this meant that there was a reduction in supply and hence an increase in prices in jute. So what the government started doing is government started de-hoarding measures and collaborating with Bangladesh to lift the export ban. So just remember these items about the jute price hike or the jute price rise. Now we come to Yojana. This is the November issue of Yojana. The topic under discussion was transportation or transport. So Yojana picks up urban transport and discusses some schemes related to that. One scheme we should be aware about is Amrut. The full name for Amrut is Atal Mission for Rejuvenation and Urban Transformation. Atal Mission for Rejuvenation and Urban Transportation. So it's easy to remember, just remember rejuvenation and urban transportation. Now this is actually the new name for JNURM, which is Jawaharlal Nehru National Urban Renewal Mission. So this is one aspect about urban transport, urban renewal we should be aware about. Second is linked to the ports of India, the Sagar Mala initiative. The idea of Sagar Mala is we will develop a string of ports around the Indian coast. 7,500 kilometer long coastline India has. So we want to promote a lot of port-led development. So Sagar Mala has to be created, which encourages a lot of transportation, lot of activity around the ports. Now the Union Ministry of Shipping is a nodal agency for Sagar Mala initiative, and it has three pillars: port-led development, port infrastructure enhancement, and efficient evacuation. So whenever a disaster etc. comes, these ports and the activity and the ships around that will be available for immediate evacuation. So that kind of orientation is what is there for Sagar Mala. Now there is also a NSAC, National Sagar Mala Apex Committee. It is not yet formed. It's envisaged, which will allow for coordination between all these ports. So these are the major issues we are covering today. Hope you got a good orientation towards how to pick up important topics from the news and how we should look at different topics. Now what we'll do is we'll pick up some of the questions that have been addressed to us and we'll try to answer them. If your question has not been answered, please post your question. We will be getting back to you with detailed answers within a couple of days' time. The notes will be available in 2 days. The quiz will be available in 2 days again. Please make sure you read the notes and revise what we learned today and also cover the details of all the schemes etc. that we discussed. And make sure you use the quiz for practicing. And please get back to us on any feedback on how we can improve, whether you would like extra coverages, is there any issue you wanted to be discussed. We can pick up those issues and discuss in more detail in further lectures. So please let us know and we will try to accommodate for those things as well. So now let's look at some of the questions. So a quick 1-minute break. In case you have any questions, please type it out for us. So a lot of people have asked us about G20 membership, why it's essential, etc. So these are highly factual nature. So it will be available in notes. So don't worry, we'll be giving you the details of it. Another question has been asked about GST and money bill. This is a very good question. However, the details of this we'll be covering in a further lecture when we are going to go into more depth about GST. In today's lecture, we are only planting the seed of GST because GST was just coming into prominence because the ruling party was trying to push GST and the opposition party was trying to stall GST. The reason why GST is the discussion on GST as a money bill, etc., came into prominence in December during the parliament session, and hence we'll be covering it during that current affairs webinar. Another question that has been asked is about FDI and automatic route. Now this is a very simple thing. All this means is that suppose there is an industry in which it is specified that till 49% is automatic route and till 75% is non-automatic. All this means is that till 49% no permission is required, the FDI will be automatically approved. But beyond 79%, it has to go via FIPB, which is the body which will regulate all FDI, and FIPB has to give approval before the FDI is allowed to come inside India. However, this body is known to be very flexible and easy in its approvals. So even if it's non-automatic route, it does not mean that the FDI is not able to come in. So that is the difference between automatic and non-automatic. Automatic means no approval required. Non-automatic means FIPB approval is required. Another question asked is, how will bullion scheme affect gold import? The reason why this bullion scheme is launched is that because gold is now a currency, more people might be interested in converting their hoard or wealth of gold into currency. So people might be interested in depositing the gold and converting that into bullion or currency. This gets more gold into circulation, and the moment more gold comes into circulation, it is accessible to government instead of being tied up in treasure, wealth, etc., which is in private hands. Now it's accessible to government. So in case we have a current account deficit problem, government can use the gold which is available as currency to fill the demand for gold in the country. So that is how bullion scheme affects the gold import and the current account deficits. Another good question which has come is MSP versus FRP. So we discussed FRP when we discussed sugarcane pricing. Now MSP is the price which is given to the farmers. It is given by the Food Corporation of India when they buy the crops. Now MSP normally tends to be higher than the market price for the crops. FRP is the price which is again given to sugarcane farmers only, but this is not done by any institution. This price has to be paid by the sugar mills when they purchase from the farmer. This is fixed by the union government. So FRP is a fair and remunerative price which is fixed by union government and paid by sugar mills MSP again fixed by government but paid by the government institution when it buys from the farmer. So under MSP, it can be purchased at a higher than MSP price as well. But under FRP, FRP is the price at which sugar has to be purchased by sugar mills. So that is the main differentiation between MSP and FRP. Much greater detailed discussion about MSP, FCI, Essential Commodities Act, etc. is available in the economy module. So tablet students would know that all this is comprehensively covered. So current affairs students are encouraged to please refer to material which gives you detail about these issues. However, FRP is in the news, so it is a potential question. So please make a note of that. So those are the important questions we are covering today. The rest of your questions will be sent back to you as a compilation so that you can see each other's question as well and gain understanding from that. We are concluding a lecture today. Thanks for listening. When the notes and the questions come, please make use of them as well. We will be having further webinar classes. The next one will be on India Yearbook. So please come back and attend. It will be another important session because a lot of questions are expected from webinar sessions on India Yearbook. So thanks again for listening. All the best for your exams.